Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mary Price. I'm the Events and Marketing Manager at the Shingo Institute at Utah State University. I'm pleased to have Doan Hassan with us today from Unipro, a Shingo licensed affiliate. Doan has experience ranging from industrial engineering to deputy managing director in the electrical and automobile industry. He has a total of 20 years of experience with multiple lean transformation projects. These experiences have led him to lean transformation consulting and to training and model factory consultancy. If you haven't had a chance to read the article Doan wrote on the topic we're discussing today, I would encourage you to visit our website, shingo.org, click the media tab and select the blog. You'll find the article there. It's titled The Digital Model Factory Improvement Subsystems Training Aligned to the Shingo Model. With that, Doan, I'll turn the time over to you. Please feel free to share your slides now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone joining. My name is Doan Hassan. I'm the founder and manager of Unipro Academy. As Mary said, we are a Shingo Institute affiliate. Let me share my screen. Yes, today's topic is improvement subsystems training in our digital model factory in virtual reality environment and how they are aligned to the Shingo model. That's what I'm going to talk about in this webinar. A little bit about our company. We provide end-to-end solutions for lean and digital transformation. We have this digital model factory. It's the first in the world, a virtual reality learning factory. We do lean transformation. The trainings we do in VR sessions, we do as face-to-face. We do digital transformation from ERP to MES to pick by light, such Industry 4.0 technologies. We do digital twins as part of Industry 4.0. We provide digital twins and also on-the-job trainings in VR, which are also very much preferred. And as Shingo Institute, we do enterprise excellence workshops, organizational and operational excellence workshops, these Shingo workshops. Before we start, I would like to give some information about a model factory. What is model factory? It's a training center for experiential learning. It's also called learning factory. There's a real product, real machinery, real processes, and all the cases are based on reality in this model factory. And by experiencing, attendees increase their lean and digital transformation skills. Here, it's all about experiential learning because it's been proven that theoretical learning is not real learning in reality. A model factory has three phases. The first one is traditional, the second one is lean, and then the lean digital phase. And in these phases, we provide this experiential learning and attendees learn how to move from traditional phase to lean, and after that to lean and digital phase. And we demonstrate the Industry 4.0 technologies in these workshops. What is digital model factory? The only difference is this model factory is in virtual reality. It's an experiential virtual reality learning factory. And we provide a roadmap for lean and digital transformation here. And through these workshops, attendees increase their implementation skills for lean and digital transformation. This is the model factory, this virtual reality model factory, and attendees can join with their glasses, virtual reality glasses or tablets or PCs, and observe everything as if they are in a real physical factory. The only difference is it's in virtual reality, but the brain cannot differentiate that, accepts that as reality. That's why the learning is quite the same with physical model factory. In this digital model factory, we have applied lean and digital transformation trainings. There are 17 modules. and they are all aligned with the continuous improvement dimension, the improvement subsystems of continuous improvement dimension of Shingo model. When the pandemic started, we seen the necessity that the training model will be changed and it will move towards VR systems. And companies need, besides of in detail how they have to implement those systems, how they have to behave in those systems. So it's very important to design the systems, but on the other hand, how are the SOPs going to look like? How are the standard work going to look like? What do they need to take as action? How do they need to behave? And that's why we decided to make this digital model factory in order to teach experiential improvement subsystems. So we increase competencies of companies for these improvements. Our roadmap consists of 17 modules. Very briefly, these 4 are the diagnosis modules. It starts with alignment, so that everybody sees the same thing. Then standardization, value stream mapping 4.0. This is a special module for Industry 4.0. And then these are curing or treatment modules, let's say. And then production planning modules. ERP is not so well utilized in Turkey mostly, and in many other European companies too, and that's why we have these modules. And after that, these are the sustainability and management modules we can call. About lean approach and Industry 4.0, we talk about philosophy, we talk about tools, Industry 4.0 concept, and attendees get familiar with the digital model factory. They observe the product, workflows, processes, just as if they have started in this company, they are oriented for the digital model factory. They understand the roadmap, purpose, and goals, and the why becomes clear for them. And they understand these 3 phases of model factory. Then comes standardization. Here we talk about the workflows, processes. As you see, these are very similar with the concepts of continuous improvement dimension, and also with this improvement subsystems. After giving this theoretical training, we observe the workflows and processes. We prepare them in Zoom. Then we define inputs, outputs, KPIs, reports, feedback, which are part of the system maps, which are part of these workflows also. And the operations are observed in detail, and the standard work is prepared in Zoom again. So everything happens in virtual session, either Zoom or VR virtual reality session. So just sitting on your desk, you can enter via Zoom and then put on the glasses and you are in the digital model factory. In this case, the attendees are able to identify workflows, processes, process owners, inputs, outputs, resources, reports, feedbacks, objectives, and KPIs, and they can prepare the workflow diagrams and standard work of their own processes. Value stream mapping. Here, after theoretical training about a pragmatic time and method study about wastes, then we talk about value stream map, we talk about future value stream map, and after that we start with time study, as you see here. So with stopwatch, they do time study, they record the process, they analyze it, and after that they identify the potential, improvement potential, and via observing the material stocks and flow in the digital model factory, they can create the value stream map. and then afterwards they can design the future state map. So they can do the work study, value stream map, and identify gaps and potentials through this module. Value stream mapping 4.0 is designed for data and information flow. In value stream mapping, we work on material flow mostly, and the wastes in this area, but the waste with information flow is the worst waste probably in our age at the moment in this digital era. That's why we have this value stream mapping 4.0. After giving this theoretical training, we do the application, we observe the information flows, and then we create the value stream map 4.0 and then design the future state. And in this way, the roadmap for digital transformation is also achieved. So after this value stream map, the 4.0 defines the value stream of the information. Sorry, I didn't show that. In lean digital phase, everything appears on human-machine interfaces. So the information flow, how it has to be with integration of ERP and MES is shown in these modules. Total productive maintenance. Here we talk about the concept. Here we talk about the KPIs of this concept, and then we observe in digital model factory the maintenance activities. It's mostly focused on autonomous maintenance. This model is mostly focused on autonomous maintenance, and then we prepare the form in Zoom, and then afterwards we see how it has to be in lean digital phase, as you see here. Here he picked up the work order, he started the machine, and as I said, everything appears on reality basis. Everything is connected to real cases, and here we work on how the maintenance system has to be when a breakdown appears, as you see here. Then how the operator should act in the beginning, and afterwards how the maintenance guy has to act. And so they can create autonomous maintenance system, and they can calculate OE after these workshops. All this setup is based on digital twin technology, let's say. This is a digital model factory we have chosen. The product is what we have chosen. It can be prepared for any kind of production, in fact. Then CIMET, we talk about the concept, we talk about some examples, and then in digital model factory, we observe a setup sequence. We observe a setup process. Here, as you see, this lean phase, there is no human-machine interface. There are standard work papers in paper form. It's so large so that we can read them in virtual reality. We observe the setup steps, and then we take video recording, and then we analyze them with a software. We make the time study, and we define internal and external, as you know, and then we define the future state. So the attendees gain the skill to do that for their own factory. A training of CIMET, which you would do in 2 days in theoretical sessions, you can deliver the same, more information, more skill in half a day with just one implementation, one interaction. There is always an interaction in these learnings. Then FMEA, here the definition, form, and steps, how the risk priority number is calculated, and they observe the processes in digital model factory. They make an FMEA application, and they have the ability to do the same in their own company, because they did here in a real setup, in fact. So they observe real processes, and they prepare the FMEA for real processes. And in this way, they also reach potential failures to improve. They learn how to reach that potential. Then Gemba Kaizen, Shidoka Pokyueke, the module is a little bit large. We talk about Kaizen, idea generation, Gemba, 8D, A3, the two types of problem-solving techniques, then how Shidoka and Pokyueke concepts are unknown, and they observe a production and manufacturing with mistakes, and they prepare once A3 form and once 8D. So with two different techniques, they solve the problem and they find root causes, and they can design. One of them is a Pokyueke application. They can design a Pokyueke process via this module. Workstation design ergonomics 5S. In most cases, 5S is the starting point in such consultancy services, but we do it different. 5S is the result of the culture. In fact, this cultural transformation. That's why, while through implementing standardization process workflow approach, value stream mapping, the team is already prepared for this type of behavior in this case. After this theoretical training, they go directly into the digital model factory, and they design the workstation on their own, considering ergonomics and the necessary rules. And they achieve a future state, and they can do the same in their own setup, in their own company. Yes. Afterwards, after the workstations are designed, now we can balance them, because we have another time study in this case. They observe the assembly lines. We talk about assembly lines, Yamazumi, takt time, tempo, and then for the application, we observe the assembly stations, again, record and analysis of these processes, and then we prepare the Yamazumi chart, the balancing is done, and they have a future state for the new Yamazumi chart. So they are able to design flexible, balanced cells and lines in this way. In this case, you see there are no more three different workstations. It's a cell, it's a flexible cell, and they see how the balancing is done, and they see the result of the balancing after they studied that in Zoom. They see the result, the evidence directly after the workshop. Kanban, milk run, Heijunka. So we talk about tool system, Kanban, milk run, Heijunka, the concepts. Afterwards, they see the traditional state work order management, and afterwards, they design the future state work order management using Heijunka, with Heijunka. And then they compare in digital model factory the traditional and future states, and they are able in this case to set up a Kanban system, a milk run system. They can observe that all in the digital model factory. ERP supported production planning. So first we talk about the concept, then the application is done directly in an ERP system, so that they see from customer order entry until dispatch, they have the experience in real ERP environment, and they know how to schedule, how to do capacity planning, and how to track KPI, because there's lots of companies in Turkey where it's not really functioning. Still, Excel is used for capacity planning and KPI tracking. This should not be the case in Industry 4.0 era. Then strategic performance management. Here, the attendees observe an existing KPI board, a visual board, and then they find out the mistakes, and then they design a new visual factory management board So they gain the ability to create vision, strategy, goals, and KPIs, all this connection for the performance management system. Then competency management. Here you see the future state of visual board. We talk about the concepts, competency matrix, and then for the application, we observe the operators and we prepare competence matrix. We do training plan and backup system for the operators and for the team. So we also the attendees can prepare these development plans for the employees and competence metrics, which are very important to become a learning company and develop people, develop new leaders. Then comes lean leadership. There we talk about leadership, and we refer here also to the Shingo model booklet so that they have an understanding of Shingo model. And we enter the digital model factory environment. We observe a morning huddle in digital model factory environment, as you see, and we identify lack of leadership here. And in this case, they can, after this learning, they can build up trust and commitment of employees in their own teams. It's the output, building a fire and forget team. That's what we are looking for. Influencing techniques and performance interviewing. We talk about the techniques, how the feedback has to be done, how the performance interview has to be done. And for the application in digital model factory, we conduct a leader employee interview practice. And in this way, the attendees can do the same in their own company, all because of experiential learning, all because they experienced it in the digital model factory. The last one is process audit. All after we have done these, we need to check how far we have gone, what we have changed, what we have moved. And with this checklist, they make a process audit, and they make a new standard for the lean transformation, lean and digital transformation. And when they apply this roadmap once again, they have another better state, and this has to move on as a PDCA cycle, a large PDCA cycle. So what are the gains to support the Shingo model when these modules are delivered? This digital model factory roadmap ensures the standard implementation of improvement subsystems. It eliminates dependency to individuals for implementing improvement subsystems, avoids variations from workflows and standard work. People gain experience of correct behavior model and actions of improvement subsystems, and the alignment to Shingo guiding principles are achieved. This is a support for companies while creating improvement subsystems, how they have to create them. And the training system is on virtual reality, so it's a lean training system. In fact, the training in itself is not so lean. There are lots of wastes in it. That's why we try to make it lean. And in this way, they can gain the most experiential information in the shortest time. And the DMF Digital Model Factory workshops guide the implementation of these improvement subsystems. Yeah, that's it from my side. This is my phone number. This is my email address if you want to reach out to me. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Doan. That was great information. Thank you so much for attending. I hope it was informational to you and you saw some value in it. Thank you so much, Doan. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.
Yeah, see you. Yep. Bye-bye.